Hello, and welcome to the next installment of the Anime and Movie Club. Today we are talking about a beloved film, The Truman Show, where a man was literally on camera for his entire life. Today we have with us Ganondorf. Say hello.
Hi.
And we have TheSonicRavn.
That's me, I guess.
Yeah. He made the thumbnail, and it looks amazing. So, yeah, welcome. That's me clapping for you.
Thank you.
So, let's get right down to it, shall we?
Into the news.
Yeah, let's do this.
So, let's start out. I didn't actually put this in the questions, because I just said that that would be what we would talk about when we first started. What would you guys give this on a rating from 1 to 10?
Hmm.
How about we do...
Probably.
Okay. How about we do Sonic first, and then Ganondorf?
Works.
Yeah, okay. I'd probably give it I'd say about a 7 or closer to an 8. Very enjoyable. I thought the comedy lands 90% of the time. Very interesting concept. I think it's a little pretentious when it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
At some points, but other than that, I thought it was very good.
Okay. That's good. So Ganondorf, what would you give it?
I'm probably thinking around a 7, 7.5.
Okay.
I mean, it was a. Don't get me wrong, it was a great movie. It's just not some type of movies I really enjoy a lot. But nonetheless, it was a great movie that made me think a lot, which is something I liked.
Yeah. Sonic said when he recommended it, he said that it would be good for streamers, because it's kind of like we're being watched. So I think that, yeah. I think you and I can relate to that, Ganon, a little bit. We're not the most popular streamers on YouTube. We're not. Did I say me and you? Did I see me and you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. We're not the biggest streamers on YouTube, but we still have viewers and stuff, so it's relatable to a point.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably more towards the ones who have like a couple thousand subs.
Yeah.
That come every day.
I would say, for me personally, I would give this movie probably an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. I thought that Jim Carrey and everyone in the movie, I didn't actually know many of the other actors other than Jim Carrey. But Jim Carrey had a very good... He did a very good job with his role. I don't think it's like most of the roles he usually has, where he kind of like realizes something is wrong with his world and he has to like do something about it, whereas more of his roles are comical roles. I wouldn't say that this was particularly funny to me, except for like a few parts, like at the very end when his boat crashes into the wall. I thought that was hilarious, but I think it was more of like a serious thing than a comedy. Just my perspective on the whole thing. It was good to see that though. Like Jim Carrey doesn't have to be just a comedian, so it was good to see him in another role, which is why I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's one of those actors that can't act like Adam Sandler, but they're just plopped into roles where they don't have to.
Yeah. Adam Sandler is just Adam Sandler.
No, I think the guy can act like Jim Carrey. I think there's one movie, I don't remember it, but he puts up a fantastic performance. Anyways, getting off topic. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I think we should try and watch some Adam Sandler movies in the future. I think,
Yes.
I think that would be cool.
The movie.
What was that other one? Oh, I can't remember what it was called.
There's so many bad Adam Sandler movies.
Oh yeah, it was the one on Netflix, 8 Crazy Nights. It was this. It was an animated movie, and it was by the
Oh,
same
yes, that one.
yeah, it was by the same
Okay.
animation studio that made Iron Giant, which I thought it was going to be good, and then I watched it. I was like, this is so bad.
I never saw the movie myself, but I did watch. I think it was the Nostalgia Critics review on it like years ago.
Yeah.
Was that Real Steel you're talking about?
What was that?
What?
I lost you there.
I'm off track.
Yeah.
I'm always lost.
Okay. Let's get started talking about the movie. All right.
Sure.
Let's start. I don't know.
So let's just start out with the first question, I guess. What do you think of the Truman Show overall? Would you participate in it, or would you try and be like Laura was? I can't remember her real name. I just remember her name is Laura because that's what it was on her journal. If it actually existed, would you be a part of the crew or part of the cast, or would you oppose it?
I personally like to think I would oppose it.
Okay.
That's just like sadistic.
Yeah.
I
We got a dog.
as well.
Yeah, that's mine.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Cute dogs. I love dogs. He's putting his opinion.
I just think it's really funny that Ganondorf's name comes up and all we hear is barking.
I totally agree with those points.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, you know. I kind of from the viewpoint of the people on the crew and the actors and all that. Like, this guy lives a pretty normal life, you know, and it's a pretty good life, you know. So I understand that sense that, like, there's no way he could ever get hurt in this world, and that's kind of what they were trying to say at the end. But still, I don't think, like, if I found out I was living in that world, or if I found out that someone was being filmed for their entire life, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, especially me. I'm big on privacy, so I would never support such a thing, especially when the person has no choice in the matter whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It doesn't even look like that guy lived the most exciting life either.
But
Well,
to
yeah,
be fair, he also lived a stress-free life where he didn't have to worry about politics or
Touche.
failing or natural. Well, I guess he would technically have to worry about natural disasters, but he would
Yeah.
no control over it.
Yeah, like, what if there was,
Can you
like...
imagine the earthquake built that building?
Oh, yeah, that... I was gonna say,
giant
like, what
dome.
if there was some kind of thing that caused the dome to, like, break apart or something like that?
It'll be Chicken Little all over again.
The sky is
Oh,
falling!
my
sky is falling.
Well, actually, I think that's kind of the initiate. Sorry,
Yeah, you're kind of right.
I thought that's what that was a callback to. Is the sky is falling, the light falling at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
That could be it.
I actually watched it twice. Well, I mean, I've watched it before, like a long time ago, with my family. But then I just watched it again recently because we were reviewing it. So I watched it twice, and I honestly, the second time, I didn't pick up on the fact that in the car ride, right after he picks up the falling light, they say, "Oh, there was a plane that went by that dropped a bunch of stage debris." And I was like, that's so clever. I didn't pick up on that the first time. That they said that on the
So
radio.
I just thought like something randomly fell out of the airplane. That's what I heard the first
Yeah.
time I went through.
So I
That
don't know.
stage debris coming off of the airplane makes more sense. If
Uh-huh.
they're trying to make a lie. That
Yeah.
would fit that.
And when you see it the second time, like back to back, you start picking up on where the cameras are. Like all of those little black bulbs in the show, those are all the cameras, you know, and it's just like I didn't notice that the first time, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just interesting to go back to a movie like that and pick up on all of the small, tiny things that you missed.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay. If you were Truman, you know, say you were one of the 5 other babies that were going to be selected, and you were a completely different person, but you were the person you are now, with the same amount of intelligence you have now, would you have been able to figure it out sooner than Truman, or would you have never figured it out?
I would like to think I would have figured it out, but I really guess there's no way to know, being as we would have had different experiences at that point in our lives.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say that I don't think Truman was a stupid person, because I think he shows quite a bit of intelligence.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
not saying that.
I think the problem was necessarily him not questioning the reality around him and just assuming everything we're told.
Yeah, he didn't know anything else.
He was told that this is reality. He doesn't know that there's a other world out there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shows, especially now, because that's why one of the reasons I think Truman Show is very ahead of its time, about the nature of questioning our own reality. Because he's told the light falls out of the sky, stage light, and he immediately just assumes, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All this stuff happens to him, gets a blink and deny explanation, and he just assumes it.
I think really the turning point was when he went on to that radio station.
Yeah, I really think that was the time he noticed, like, something is going on, you know? I also feel like when he held up his hands against the bus and the car and they both, like, instantly stopped for him, that was another time where he was like, am I God? Like, you know?
Which technically, oh, wait, no, he's not, oh God, he's Jesus or something in Almighty.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I thought his, apart from the light, I thought his seeing his father, actually.
That's
the first thing he kind of did. He goes, no, there's no way that could have just been it. That was my dad. I know him.
I feel like there are a lot of turning points. I feel like they all, like, it was a domino effect. Like, the light was like, you know, it might make sense that a plane was flying by and it just so happened to drop a stage light. Like, that's, you know, it doesn't happen every day, but it's possible, you know?
Yeah,
but, you know, seeing your father, that's weird. You know, hearing a radio station of a street that you're driving on, you know, talking about you, that's weird. So, you know, like, I feel like it was just a bunch of dominoes that eventually led to him being like, yeah, there's something going on here.
Oh, and don't forget the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator too. I think that was like, I think
he might have figured it out when he left the show. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, when he left. When he exited the door at the end, he knew he was on a show. When he found the exit.
I was 90% sure up until now. But.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Not all of these questions I really wanted to, like, I just wrote them down. But like this one I kind of like. What do you think of the fact that you see that it's a modern world outside with all of the people watching the show, but it's a very 50s style inside the show? Like, what do you guys think of that? Why do you think they went that route? Because that was a simpler time, or do you think, like...
Well, considering the setup, I think the movie is set in the 80s, so it's like the 50s, 60s era when he was born and put into that world.
Yeah.
And they just never bothered to update the tech in there.
Well, I mean, they updated the cars and stuff, but the televisions and all that were never updated. It didn't seem like the technology was very...
Maybe they didn't feel like they had to keep the show going.
I guess.
I thought of it as like there's a lot of... This is when people say make America great again. It's this is their ideal America, the fake personification of what America should be. The families living in houses and homes and greeting their neighbors like an old 50s style advert. Yeah. Everyone's smiling. It's all... there's another movie, We Happy Few, is a video game that's doing a similar thing where everyone has to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
And bright and colorful. But in reality, and I think this is one of the comments it's trying to make, is it never was happy. This never existed.
Yeah.
So it's almost nostalgia for these people because we like to think of it as this nice big happy place that everyone was always happy and kind to each other, but it never existed. It was never there.
Yeah. That's true. I feel like it's just this perfect world. drink Mo Coco, you know, like all of the stupid little advertisements the wife does through the entire thing is just like, I don't know. I didn't really like the wife character. What did you guys think of the characters? Like, who were your which characters stuck out to you? I know that all of them were like fake, except for the crew and Truman. But like, what did you think of them overall?
They were interesting characters. I think, especially the God character. I forget the name. Sorry.
Who was it?
He was the showrunner, Marlon. That was his name. Yes. He was, I think, one of the more morally blurred characters, and why I like him the most. For example, when his quote unquote quote girlfriend calls.
What was that? I missed that.
Sorry. When his quote unquote girlfriend calls it, he does make the point of saying, do you truly love Truman, or is this like you're using this for your own gain like we are? He kind of, that's one of the lines there, and you see her, it kind of, think about it, and it makes sense. Like, is she really in love with Truman, or is she in love with the politics around him?
Yeah.
And she's using him for her own gain.
Yeah. I also feel like I feel like the ending was good. You know, he broke free, but I wanted to kind of see, like, did he ever meet up with her at the end? So, like, what happened after that? Did they fall in love? Did they realize they weren't right for each other? Like, what, you know, like, it just kind of ended on the people changing the channel, you know? And it makes sense. It makes sense for a movie about a TV show. But, you know, at the same time, I would have just liked to see more of what went on with Truman at the end. You know, did he end up suing the studio that kept him captive for his entire life? You know, I don't know. That's just how I felt.
Dirk, you got any comments?
Not really.
All right, well, how about you choose the next question?
Okay.
I don't pick up anything you want to talk about.
I don't know. I just didn't really like the wife character that much. She just always rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional, kind of.
I guess. Well, I guess we can move on to this question then. Like, because it's on a similar topic to what we were saying. Why were they trying to keep Truman and away from Laura? Why couldn't they just be the love interest in the show? Like, why did they push Marilyn onto Truman and not Laura? You know?
Well, I think part of it is the director has like almost a god complex where he has to be in charge of everything that goes on. And so he had to choose the right actor that wouldn't slip up or something.
That's true.
And so he had to fall in love with that person.
That's true.
I think I kind of agree with him. I think maybe he thought, you know, and maybe it turns out that, especially the second time around, that they knew that she might end up thing. Because it's never 100% clear if she was just on the show to get to Truman, or if she was a protester before or after.
Yeah.
When she kind of made that cake. So.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting to think, like, if they just let him be with Laura, like, would have Laura told him about the world outside, or do you think she just would have been like, okay, I guess I can stay here with Truman for the rest of my life? You know? I don't know. That's just kind of what I think. Like, when I wrote that question, that's what I was thinking in my head.
And again, the person there is an actress. Like, it could be part of their agenda to push a version of love and marriagehood that they want to push, and not what could have happened from an actual living relationship. Relationships aren't picturesque and pretty like everything in the Truman Show is. It's
very true.
Rough. It is.
So I guess we'll move on from that. I understand what you guys are saying. Like, it's it's all about the grand plan and the grand idea of the director, and so like, you know, it just could never have happened. When I actually wrote one of these a few of these questions my first time around, so some of them my second time around I kind of found the answers. So I'm looking around for questions that aren't already answered by the movie because I'm an idiot. Why do you think Truman was so happy about the rainstorm centralized on him? Like, he like laughs really loud when he realizes that the rainstorm is following him. Like, why do you think he does that?
I think it goes back to what Sonic said. He's not a stupid guy. He's very intelligent. And I think at that point, he finally noticed what's going on.
Well, I don't think so. Because that was only the second thing that happened to him that day. I mean, the second thing that was in the movie, at least, where he realized, like, this might not be real life. Like, the only other thing that happened to him before that was the lamp falling, or the stage light. And everything happened after that, like his father coming back, the elevator scene, his wife, lying to him and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know, he just kind of seemed to brush off the rain thing. He never even talked to it about, he never even said anything to his wife about it.
Because the weather station says we've had localized patches of rain falling.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that either.
I think that's part of going back when he does a question again. But I think him laughing is kind of like the face of the saying. It's some philosophers. You laugh in the face of absurdity and absolute kind of when your reality is broken. You look into the void and the void stares back. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It drives you crazy. So he's kind of like leaving it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Anything else that you guys think about that? Like, I don't know. That just seemed odd to me. In the entire movie, that was one scene where I was just like, why did he laugh like that? So I get what you're saying, Sonic, about the absurdity of things, and like, it's just, you're laughing at chaos and whatnot. But any other input on that? Like, what do you guys think? It was just a very weird scene for me, I guess. I don't know.
That's understandable.
It just felt awkward, like, watching it, because, like, it's the centralized rain, and you see it happening, and you know why it's happening, and he, like, realizes, oh, it's this centralized patch of rain on me, and it's following me, but he just breaks out laughing, and he never brings it up again,
Well, I mean, if the same thing was going to happen to you, how would you react? Think of it that way. Like, I'd think it's funny. I'd giggle and goof. I'd be like, what the heck?
I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I might start to question it. I'd be like, why me? Like, why is it just raining on me, and why is it following me around? Which he never really ends up doing. And I don't know. I guess. I'm a weird guy, so I might not laugh at it. I'd be like, I'm wet. I don't like being wet. So yeah, that makes sense. I get what you guys are saying. I'm just a very different person, and I probably would have reacted a little different if it happened to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you were determined to escape this made-up world, would you have faced your fears like Truman did and crossed the ocean? Or whatever barrier was in your way?
I wouldn't. I thought that was just kind of like a movie element, because if he knew that everything around him was fake and it was entertainment or something, then I think he could have been much simpler ways of doing it. I think it was just just for the movie's sake, like, to be interesting.
Yeah.
But,
so I've got 2 points on this.
Uh-huh.
The first one being, I feel like his fear of the water went down quite a bit after his dad resurfaced.
Mm-hmm.
His whole point of his fear of the water was that his dad died. Yeah. But then he found out his dad didn't die. His dad's alive.
True.
And so I think that helped take down fear of the water.
Oh yeah, I guess
And
you're
the
right.
second point is, if I was in a cage and someone told me I didn't know, and someone told me I was in a cage, I would not want to be in a cage.
Yeah.
I would personally do everything I could to get out of there.
Okay. Like, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And I honestly didn't think of that. When he, started sailing away, I honestly didn't think back to like, oh, it's because his dad came back. So that's actually a really interesting point. Ganondorf.
Yeah, I don't think either.
Yeah, that I did not realize that both times I've watched it within the past 48 hours. So, very good. I think that was super awesome that you picked up on that.
Yeah.
Just like the whole Nazi parallel thing in FMA, I'm learning things from this, and I love it. I love learning things from different people's perspective. It just shows like how differently people think these days. And it's great. So yeah, sorry, my mind is blown again, and I'm just sitting here like, his father came back, so he doesn't fear the water anymore. So
yeah, I guess I think actually I would have done the same thing. I think his actions are pretty well off actually, because he does try other things, right? Like he takes his wife hostage, he tries to drive off. I think the water was the only solution. I think you're right actually.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, like, I will admit to this to you guys because it's true. I am deathly afraid of bees. I know it's kind of irrational because I know like everyone says like if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. But I was stung by bees when I was young, and it kind of just scarred me. Because I was eating a sandwich in a park. And I was eating a sandwich in a park, and there was something buzzing in my ear, and I thought it was a fly, so I swatted at it to get rid of it because I didn't want it eating my sandwich. And it turned out to be a yellow jacket, which is like the fourth worst bee sting you can get. Other than like scorpions and stuff, which aren't bees, so I don't know why I said that.
That is the fourth worst bee sting you can get.
So yeah, I got stung on the hand by the yellow jacket, and ever since then I have had this irrational fear of both bees and buzzing noises in my ear. Like I can't even listen to some things on YouTube in my headphones because like if it has a buzzing noise, I will like jitter or like spaz out or something like that. So I don't know. If the island was surrounded by bees, or if I was in a cage surrounded by bees, I don't think I'd be able to get out like Truman did.
You know what? I think the Truman Show would have been a much better movie if instead of water surrounding his island, it was a swarm of bees. A wall.
That's actually interesting, Michael.
Yeah.
Because I had the exact opposite experience.
Mm-hmm.
When I was really young, jumped on an underground bee's nest.
Yeah.
That did not end well. I got stung all over the place before my parents got me out of there. And I have absolutely no fear of bees whatsoever.
You're like a reverse Batman. Bee man.
That sounds lame. But like, I mean, hornets, I'm not afraid of them, but I'm also not going to go destroy their nest and piss them off more than they already are. Like, within reason, don't expect me to go single-handedly take out a giant nest of angry hornets from hell.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess, going back to your mentioning that, his father came back and that's why he was able to cross the ocean, like, maybe if someone was like, if I had a pesticide can, then maybe I'd be able to escape. If I had some, like, thing that was like, oh, I can use this to get out because of this reason. Or if my grandfather, who was at the park with me, was like, it's okay, take my hand, then I'd probably be okay. I don't know. but yeah, I just asked that question because I didn't know if you guys, would be able to face your own personal fears like Truman did and be able to cross. So it's interesting just to hear your opinions on it. Excuse me, sorry.
I think this is Truman's show. I just want to say is, yeah, I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's okay. If you think of it, let me know.
Okay, sorry, no, I do. Would
Okay.
you say the Truman Show is ahead of its time and is more relevant today than it was when it released?
That's a good question. I have to think about this for a sec. Gannon, if you have an answer, you can...
I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
Because just a couple of things make me think this. One of them was the fact I recently listened to a streamer, and I think it was one of those ASMR streamers on one of my podcasts, and they were literally saying that people would just tune in and fall asleep to her.
Yeah.
Which is literally one of the opening lines in the Truman Show.
Uh-huh.
And it also brings a lot of questioning the reality and all that. Really comes back around to one of the most popular shows right now is Westworld.
Yes.
Which is the robot hosts are almost literally Trumans there to entertain people from the outside world, and they're stuck on their islands, and they don't really question the reality around them.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. I've heard the synopsis of Westworld. But yeah, can you say the question one more time?
Do you think it's more relevant today than it was in '98 when it released?
I think
so.
Yeah, I think it is, especially with all of the advanced technology we have now. Because we might actually, I don't want to sound crazy. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or some guy who sits in his mom's basement and is like, Nixon's still alive. I don't want to, but, I do think that there is a possibility that we are being watched, by, the government or by whoever. The stream said it was completed for some reason. Oh, wait. Now it's back. Sorry.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. It just said stream ended, and now it says stream resumed. So, I don't know.
It's still on for me, so.
Okay, that was weird.
It's still on for me. Okay, can I inject something here?
Yeah.
So, this is going to be totally not conspiracist. One thing I've noticed about these days today is just like a lot of people are in their own personal bubbles. And it's hard for them to get out of that because of our social medias, and we have to paint ourselves in the best light, and our world's constantly on view from everybody else from all these different angles.
Yeah.
So we're all focused on how we can make ourselves look better. But so you can kind of get where that analogy comes from, with a giant dome and everything centered around Truman in there.
Yeah.
Even though maybe he doesn't realize it, we do, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Face fears together, so we have to face our fears to burst our personal bubble, because there's a great quote. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it goes something along the lines of, there's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone.
Yeah.
And so, like, he had to face his fears together, and there's no way that was comfortable. We kind of have to face our fears and push out and not focus on ourselves and focus on others and do some service or something.
I agree. I think you're right.
I think that is a very good point. Gosh darn. Gannon, just bringing it with the amazing points today. It's amazing.
You're on your A game today.
Like, what if... what I kind of got from that with the, trying to be in the best light on social media and stuff, like, what if Truman was a racist, or what if he was a sexist? Like, what if he came home every day and he beat his wife? Or what if he, like, flipped off his next door neighbors who were a black couple? Like, what? Like, what? I'm not trying to say, like, that, I'm not trying to support that. I'm just trying to say, like, would they keep airing the show if something like that was happening? Would they try and stop Truman?
I think they programmed him not to be.
I guess so. You know,
I mean, he lived in a community where there was no such thing as racism or sexism or all of that, so there's no way that could have entered his mind.
Very true. I mean, you know.
Yeah, if he was taught from an early age, like everyone around him has the same ideas as him, that racism is bad, sexism is bad, then of course, I think he totally grew up that way. And I think
adventuring is bad.
Yes, adventuring is bad. Why would you want to do that? Stay here.
Yeah. No. Everywhere has been explored. There's no point in adventuring anymore. I don't know. I thought that was very funny where the teacher was like, you can't, though. Everything has been found already, you know? Just soul-crushing.
The only way to go is Oasis.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just, I didn't think of that until after you said, like, we have to put on our best face when it comes to, like, social media and stuff like that. So I just thought, like, maybe that would have been an interesting view on it. Like, what if he was just some awful guy, you know?
The Truman Show is actually an allegory for the Nazis.
Truman is Hitler's son.
No. He was told this is reality and he accepted him. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
He's being bred to lead the next army.
No.
But anyways, like, I don't know. I just, when you said, like, social norms on social media, it made me think, like, back to all of the people I know who have been outed as racists or sexists on social media because they post things like, they're like, oh, like, you know. So it just made me think, when you said social media, it made me think, like, what if he was this terrible guy? I don't know. I'm also kind of loopy because I'm taking, like, allergy medication. So, what do you think of the director character? I can't remember his name. It was like Christoph or something like that.
Was it
or like Kriston? I can't remember his name.
Marlon?
Was it?
I don't know. Give me a second. I'm bad with names.
It's okay. I am too because I don't remember it.
So.
Do you?
Oh, no, Marlon's a friend. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that he really had Truman's best interest in heart, or do you think he was just in it for good views, the money, you know, the popularity?
Well, I mean, I think we totally saw him, like, amp up that storm till it nearly killed him.
Yeah.
So I don't really think that he had his best interest in heart when he was literally willing to kill him.
True. Very true.
I think he wanted to kill him, but he had that moment of, you know what, I think he was 100% going to. I think he decided, no, this isn't right.
Yeah. I mean, there are always those moments, and, like, there's always those moments where you're like, your mind goes to dark places, especially when you deal with, like, mental illness and stuff like that. Your mind will eventually go to dark places, or if you're deprived of sleep, which I imagine this guy was. Like, he had a TV show on 24 hours a day
24/7.
and stuff like that, so I'm sure that he probably didn't get the best sleep in the world. And I'm not saying that as an excuse for his actions, because his actions were totally insane, but he you know, everyone has those moments where they kind of snap and they're just like, maybe I should just kill you, you know, because Truman did say, like, you're gonna have to kill me, and he was like, well, I'm calling your bluff, you know. Like,
we could redo the Truman Show with another kid. Maybe we should need to
Truman Jr.
This is Truman.
Yeah, so
Can I bring up my own question?
Sure.
Next?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to discuss was the very ending. I know you said you had a question about the ending, but my question was literally, like, the last couple shots where literally everybody's just like those guards that were like totally cheering Truman on.
Yeah.
And the credits roll, and he's like, and turns the channel. Like, what's with that? Like, is there any analogies with that today and how we live our lives? Kind of like I was talking about our own little bubbles and stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up. I didn't actually write this in a question of my own, but I did think of that when I ended my second viewing. Sonic, do you have anything you want to say on this?
I do. I think this just has to go with how people watch stuff. Like, here's what I think the best example is Duck Dynasty. I remember Duck Dynasty. Anybody? How many people watch that show? I remember growing up and everyone talked about it every week, every Wednesday, for like 3 years. And then they just kind of fell off the earth and no one cared. We moved on to the next thing, the next reality show, the next trend.
Keeping up with the Kardashians. I don't know.
I hate to say this, Mike, but let's say, for example, you decide to stop streaming for whatever reason. We go, yeah, okay, whatever. You're streaming for, let's say it's personal problems, or let's say you just don't enjoy it anymore. We go, okay, yeah, we support you, and then we move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's just inevitable. Do you guys watch Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link?
No.
Okay.
I don't watch anything unless it's on Netflix.
Okay. They're on YouTube, and they're pretty popular, so I didn't know, like, if you guys watch them. But they used to say this thing, especially, like, I think it was 2 years ago. They were doing this special where they were like, one day, people are just going to stop clicking on our faces, and that's just inevitable. So we're going to go find new jobs, you know, and they would have this segment where they go out and they try and find a new job out in the world, but it was obviously a really bad job that they didn't want. But where was I going with this? Like, that they had a true statement. It is inevitable that people are just going to stop watching. Or you could end the show and people would just move on. You know, it's an inevitability that eventually people are either going to get bored of you, or they're just going, or you're going to stop and they're going to forget about you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of think the ending was. It was to show that people, especially people who watch TV, have very short attention spans. Where they're
Another
like,
great question there, Granny Dork.
Yes, Gannon's just bringing out the big questions. Gannon, was this the first time you saw this movie?
I have literally only seen it once.
Okay,
and
so that's
like
probably why.
A couple months ago, maybe half a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you only saw it once
a while
before this. Did you watch it again to review it for this?
No, I have a pretty good memory, and I'm pretty busy this weekend, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch it again. A month and a half ago. I did have time to rewatch it, but I thought I had a pretty good understanding of what happened and remembering everything. Characters' names is the only thing that I have trouble with.
Well, same, and I just watched it twice in the last 48 hours, so you know. But yeah, I think maybe that's why you are having such good questions, because Sonic, how many times have you seen this movie?
Once, like 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Well, I just feel like a big freaking idiot. Because, like, I've seen this movie at least 4 times in my entire life. Twice recently, and twice some other time. And, like, I am just sitting here and I'm like, oh, what did you think of, Truman? You know, and, like, you guys are like, oh, what do you think of, like, the aspect of the ending and, like, how they turned off the TV and they, like, switched to something else, you know? And
I guess it's also just how I think.
I think there's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we all think differently, so that's understandable, too. It's just, like, I don't know.
Maybe because you're all drugged up.
It's possible.
Does true man perhaps mean that he was supposed to be the ideal true man? What?
Ooh, that's interesting. That is actually, I just never thought of that either. Darn.
Are you serious?
No. I mean, yes, I am serious. I never thought of that. Goodness gracious, I'm an idiot.
Mike, I think you need some sleep.
I promise not to take, like, 3 Advil and, like, allergy pills before I do another one of these. I promise. Let me ask. Well, yes. So let me say what I'm thinking of the end. It was like, I already said it. Never mind. I already said that people just move on to the next one.
Amnesia too, Mike. It's okay. Dude, you're gonna call Dave. Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Dave is out right now.
Your bird.
Yeah, he hurt my bird.
All right.
Well, okay. So,
Just thinking of more questions.
I'm trying to think.
You know, maybe on the name Truman, like you don't only get to see Truman, you know, as Truman. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't just get to see the surface of Truman. Like, I only know your surface. I don't know your experiences. I don't know what you've been through in your life.
Yeah.
But these guys know the truth about him.
Yeah.
They know the true man that he is.
They've seen everything. I like
how I was thinking about calling him Truman because it's somewhat ironic because we call him Truman, but yet everything around him is fake and distorted, manipulated. Nothing is real.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very interesting.
That's just the entire premise of the movie, you know? It's just the whole thing is fake. What I liked, and I didn't notice until my second viewing as of recently, was that they said that the guards, when the wife character was saying to Truman, "Oh, we could try for a baby tonight," you know, and then it goes to the guards or the security guards, and the security guard says to the other security guard, like, "Oh, they just pan out the camera and like the blinds on the window blow over and you know you don't see anything." And I just thought that was very interesting that there are certain things that are private on the show. I'm sure that you don't actually see him on the toilet, even though there was a camera in his bathroom mirror. And I don't think,
right?
Yeah, and I don't think you see him getting intimate with his wife either, which was actually said in the movie.
For the HBO version of it.
So yeah, I think there are certain things where they're like, yeah, we can't show a guy sitting on the toilet on national television. So you know, I just think that was interesting. What was that?
Is this in regard? Do you think though that's in regards to his actual privacy, or do you think that's just them saying, how do we get the most amount of people to watch the Truman Show?
I think that was, I don't know. I feel like it would kind of be, I know that some people probably do it. I'm sure that there's 1 or 2 public bathrooms out there that have cameras in them because people are perverts. But, you know, I think it was just in like courtesy to Truman, you know?
I beg to differ. I think these people have, I think it's, like, for example, this is what I think. PG-13 in movies, and movies that really should be R. It's they'll dumb it down so to get the most amount of viewers, or take out topics that are controversial, so that they can get the most amount of viewers. There's something. For example, I noticed this a lot of Disney movies and stuff these days. It's going away a little bit, but they've taken out hard subjects and any sort of violence or death. In order to get the most amount of views and see how many people click on it and enjoy it. Like they're
focused on the viewership and not the content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably the view of the Truman Show directors and all that, producers and studio. They were probably, you know, like, we're not going to show him in the toilet because that would be inappropriate. So they were just in it for the viewers on that as well. So I have 2 more questions that kind of go together. What did you really like about the movie, and what did you not like about the movie?
I like it was smart comedy. It wasn't slapstick. It wasn't this. A lot of it was subtle humor. Things in the dialogue. The performances were great. I thought one thing I didn't like about the movie, this is my big drawback, is it seems a little pretentious. And my definition of pretentious is you can be out there, you can try to do whatever you want, but as soon as you doubt your audience and think your audience is stupid and have to explain your hidden meanings to them, that's what it kind of got me. And it was the last scene that bothered me when he goes, "Look, I'm God," and he's got the white light and all that. It seemed like they were dumbing it down for the audience, and that's the one thing I hated about the movie. Other than that, pretty good movie overall.
I on the subject of, oh, look at me, I'm God, you know, with the light in the background. I thought it was interesting that he said, like, who are you? And he said, I am the creator of a TV show. And, you know, like, he instantly like shoved the TV show aspect in there, even though he said, like, I am the creator, you know. I just thought that was kind of interesting, but I do get how that is pretentious and how it's kind of just like, come on, you know, you can do better than that.
Because if they had cut that scene out, or just literally had said, I'm the creator of the TV show.
What was that, Sonic? Did we lose Sonic? I think did we lose you?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Are you back?
I don't know, my internet might be dying.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to disconnect, try to fix my internet.
Okay.
Are we done here, or are we kind of...
Well, I mean, I would like to hear what Ganondorf thought about the situation.
No, that's what I mean. Like, if we're done, I'll head out.
Okay.
That's a legit question, because I'll listen to you guys, but I don't think I can talk.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
I mean, I've got to go soon, too. I've got about 20 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Spare.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna last much longer unless you have things you want to discuss about the movie too, because you're really driving these points home today. So, you know, if you have anything else you want to say, but I'll ask you the same question I asked Sonic. What did you like about the movie? What did you not like about the movie?
Well, I mean, I think it was a great way to show how, like, what am I trying to say? It was... I liked how they showed how Truman found himself throughout the movie, and how he realized his life is going to be a lie, but how he accepted it and overcame it. Like, it was a great story about how you can get past, like, the lies people tell you and still be a nice person, not bitter about it. Like, it has a whole bunch of good moral things we can get from it, like getting beyond yourself, like I was talking about earlier, and like not being bitter that people lied to you. Like his wife and his best friend and everybody.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't like was, of course, the entire premise of the show. Like, it was a good movie, but I didn't like the premise of sticking a guy in there and literally recording every single minute of his life. I like Sonic said, I'm a very private person. I don't get out much because I have my close group of friends. Yeah. And that's it. Like,
that's understandable.
I don't really go up to people and say, hey, how you doing? My name is Ganondorf. How are you doing? I don't do that. I kind of sit in the back. I'm just like,
hey. You know, I get that. That makes sense. Are you still there?
kind of thing.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was like really the only thing I didn't like about that.
Yeah, I completely understand that privacy side. Because that definitely is like the thing that if I figured out that I was living in that world, that would be like the first thing I would think of. Like, everything I did since the day I was born, and even before that, to the day I was gonna die, was all gonna be on recording, you know? And like you said about the best friend and the wife, like, knowing that all of that was just fake and they were being given lines as they went by the director character, that just seems awful to me. And like, if I realized that everything in my life was fake, I would probably not know what to do with myself. So, you know, I can be happy that Truman got out in the end and that he left and did not look back. So that, I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. 8 out of 10 for me. What did you say, a 7?
7.5, somewhere around there.
7.5. So 7.5 for Ganondorf, 8 out of 10 for me. I think did Sonic say 9 out of 10? Did he say 90% or something like that?
I think it was somewhere around what we said. Okay. So we came to a pretty good consensus.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It was definitely better than a 5, which would be on the lower end. Or less. And
I mean, like,
what was that?
If I was Truman and I found out that everybody lied to me, I would have been so pissed.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I mean, I have probably just gone berserk and become like depressed. I mean, he handled it extremely well.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
And that kind of goes back to my point of how to easily forgive people and how that's a problem with our day. Everybody gets so easily offended.
Yeah.
Or offended. Like, oh my gosh, you spelled my name wrong? How could you, you stupid Starbucks barista? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to be mean to Starbucks baristas. That's always gonna be a hard job.
Yeah,
Trying to spell people's names.
Baristas overall is a hard job. I know I couldn't do it.
Oh no, I can't talk to that many people.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a very interesting movie. Not my favorite movie, but definitely a good movie. Especially if you want to get a different viewpoint. Especially if you're someone like you and me who do internet things and actually, like, you know, put things out that anyone in the world could possibly watch, you know. So yeah, it's just interesting to get that side of it. So yeah. I guess that's where we'll end it. Thank you to our guests, Gannon and Sonic. They were both amazing. Yeah, he's gone now. He was having internet problems, but that's okay. Check out Gannon Dork's channel. I don't have a link to it in the description here, but I have it as a featured channel on my main channel. So go check that out. Go check that link out. I can, you know, probably put something in there. But he streams every now and again. He's a funny guy. He's a smart guy, obviously, as you can tell if you watch this. He's very good with movies and picking up on plot things and stuff like that. So
it's my passion.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, if you're out there, feel free to join the Discord. That's where we post a lot of the stuff about the Anime and Movie Club. We will be doing these every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What was that? Frodo just made a really weird noise. He just like rattled in his cage. It was weird. Every Wednesday of the month at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
what are we doing next week?
Next week is The Princess Bride. And so far it looks like it's going to be you and me. So
I am completely okay with it.
I'm completely okay with it too, especially if you bring the same amount of amazing questions like you did this time. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is I actually got sleep last night, so that might have helped.
Yeah.
But I was also doing like 3 other things during the stream, which is why I was so quiet at times. That's
fine, you know. Multitasking is good. Not something I can do myself, but it's good. So yeah, make sure to check out Ganondork. Make sure to check out the Discord if you're interested in joining the Anime and Movie Club.
Discord's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun, you know. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you next time on Game Cave. Bye-bye.
Bye.